Hello and welcome to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done any updates. I like to focus on all the outdoor stuff. I've been focusing mainly on the robot mowers, but I had this one thing that came up I thought was pretty cool. How it all started with is we had I bought these fish for the kids, and I just had a heck of a time trying to keep these fish alive in an aquarium. And so at the end, we bought 6 fish, 1 survived. It wasn't a great experience. This is the second time we tried to do this thing. And through my research, I came across these cool fish called rice fish. These fish are so cool, they even had them on the space shuttle. They're the only vertebrate, I believe, that has reproduced in outer space. So that kind of just tells you how hardy these fish are. Now, you've heard of the koi, the Japanese koi fish. Well, the Japanese also have the rice fish. And so if you think of how big those koi fish are, those rice fish are like that big. So they're really well suited for smaller aquariums. And for me, I actually do a lot of sales outdoor for landscaping. And so not only doing annuals and pots like that, but to have a pot where actually you have like water plants in it and then living organisms like the rice fish, it just is a completely different concept. I know they've been doing it a long time in Japan, but everything kind of takes longer here. So anyways, I came across them and I couldn't find anything locally here in KC, so I reached out to a YouTuber out in California, and I had some not very expensive rice fish. They were, not the best of the best, but to me it was just more of an experiment to see, okay, how well will they work? What's the maintenance on them? And so I'm just going to talk to you about this experience. And so I'll just start showing you. How's that? All right, so I got my rice fish. Actually, I got 9 of them. I had them in this area right here, and I have some young children, and my youngest decided she wanted to know what it felt like. So she actually petted one. And obviously when they're only that big, it's not something you want to pet. So that fish didn't survive very long, but I had 9 of them, and that one passed away. And I tried doing a jar that was above the water so it could kind of swim up. But the thing about the jar I found out was, since it had kind of a coned bottom, like a jar is curved in, one fish, all the other fish could get out, but one fish couldn't figure it out, and so it just kind of swam in circles, and I found out that's not a good idea. And then the other issue I came into was I had a predator, so I'm not sure if it was a raccoon or if it was cats. I'm thinking probably cats that got a couple of them, and so then I had to do some other things. So anyways, story short, I had some losses, so now I'm down to 3. But the cool thing about it is, even though I started in September, let me see if I can see the fish. Let's see. Where are they at? Must be hiding in the mops. There they are. Let's see if I can't zoom in on them. So there's one right there. So there's a couple of fish. There's 3 of them. That's what I got left. So those 3 were ice fish. Obviously there was another one, but basically what's happened is they're very low maintenance. So I haven't had to do a whole lot of work with them. So I did these, and so you make these mops. And so these are called spawning mops. So basically it's a pool noodle, and you cut it like a donut, and then you take a scrubbing pad, and then you kind of cut it in a bunch of slits. You just don't cut it all the way through, and then you stick it in the pool noodle, and the fish lay their eggs on it. And so you leave them in for a week, and the fish lay their eggs on it, and then you take them out, because otherwise the adults are predatory and they'll eat the baby fish. So you take them out, and so basically every week I put 2 of them in here. So my last batch is today, and so there's 4 in here. So 2 represents this week, 2 represents the week before, and then my next batch I have 2 from the so that's basically 2 weeks right there. And then my oldest group is right here, and of course the mops that are in here with the adults, I just put them in a day, and so they'll attach their eggs to those. And those, I ran out of those scrubbing pads, so I just cut some rope, some nylon rope, and just kind of undid them. I stuck them in there and kind of undid the bottoms. So I just kind of undid the bottom, so that way it kind of act as a place for the fish to lay their eggs. So it's kind of, you know, a little experimenting. Like I said, this is the oldest bunch. And if I zoom in here, let me zoom in. You can just see all those little baby fry fish in there. Now, unknowns to me, you know, I had these plants in here originally with the adults. And I didn't know, I was kind of looking for eggs. You know, it's kind of my first time with this, and nothing really happened, and I didn't see anything. So finally I was like, okay, so I took all these plants out of here. I took some excuse me, I took some creeping Jenny, and I didn't know it, but creeping Jenny, you can actually put it in water and it'll live. So I didn't even know that. So that was a cool thing I learned. So you can just take creeping Jenny. It can even be bare root. And then for this one, I just had a gallon container, put some gravel in it, a little bit of soil, put my creeping Jenny. I just grabbed some and put it in there, and it just took off. You don't even have to do that much. You can just keep it in just rock alone. And so then I put another container, and all of a sudden I had all these baby fry. I was like, shoot, I need to go ahead and start doing this right. So that's why I kind of put them in a separate container, the adults, with, you know, from very small plants that not very much root systems. So that way they definitely put their eggs on those spawning mops. So now this is the oldest group, and you can see they've already starting to get color. So let's see, I have 2 weeks. So that's basically 2 weeks there. And I got 2 weeks down there. So that's month. So that's basically August. And then July, so that'd be 2 weeks there. So yeah, end of September, I took all these plants and I put them in a container, and then all these baby fry hatched. And so eventually, because I had the issue of the cats, which I believe, I put the fish, the smaller ones, in the larger tank to figure out what was going on with the fry. But then I also created these little tube things that kind of float. And what they are for is basically this duckweed on top. It just came with the plants when I bought some of these lettuce plants like this, little floaters. And with them came a couple of these. I mean, there's only like maybe 5 of these little duckweed, but now, I mean, you can see I got them in there. This is actually completely covered. And actually, I just took a bunch of them out just because they were figuring out so much of it. But again, back on the fish, you can see right here, because I had some golden ones. So you can see I got some golden ones, some more translucent ones, and there's probably like maybe 700 different varieties of rice fish. If you go on to you know, any of these places online, look up, you know, rice fish, they can be as much as like $80 or $120 or $1,000 for a pair. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm just kind of experimenting through this, but you know, I haven't done really any water changes or anything. So it's been very low maintenance. I'm not doing, you know, I don't have any air. Well, this one I have air circulation in it, not really air. I just got a pump in there. So it has a slow pump. They don't like a lot of water movement. They like the water calm and gentle. They're used to being in kind of rice paddies and very murky steel water. And so, like I said, it's been really easy. And then, like I said, the whole cool part of it is because of the reproduction cycle. It's really cool to go ahead and have some rice fish and have the mops, and then have them, you know, reproduce. And then I have now these adults. And then, like I said, these guys are getting bigger. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what kind of colors I get from these fish, because I kind of had a mix. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but I can already tell you I have some orange ones, and like I said, some more lighter translucent ones. I know there's some darker ones in there. My hope is, you know, to go ahead and get these guys raised up for next spring and maybe sell them to some friends, and then maybe get some more new stock that has more brighter colors. That you can see right there is a little smaller one that's really dark compared to everybody else. So like I said, they come in like, you know, 700 different colors. But yeah, there's one right there. It's really right in the middle of my screen. It's really dark. So like I said, it's pretty cool, and I'm going to be starting to play with this. So, you know, please subscribe, and I'll try to keep you guys up to date. And then I'll just show you, I'll pause this and I'll show you what it looks like with my cages on top. All right, so this is what it looks like with the cages on top. I just kind of, you know, just to be safe, I don't know what the predators are, but since these babies are getting bigger, I just went ahead and got this about 1/2 inch metal from Home Depot, and then I also put it on the adult cage down here, just to cover myself, because I don't want to lose any more at this point, and especially since I've raised these guys to this size, I don't want to take any chances. So, but like I said, it's kind of a cool thing. So if you're, you know, ever in the mood that you want to have fish, this is the most hardy fish. Like I said, I'm hardly doing anything with these guys other than feeding them every day, and I try to do it a couple times a day. And then, like I said, I'm hardly doing any water changes except for the evaporation, which is, then I'll just fill them back up, but really easy to maintain. And then also, eBay has been like the best place to find rice fish. So, yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, you guys have a great day, and please subscribe.